Oh, mouse wigged out there a little bit. Say Alt Tab back. Welcome back, everyone, to Neverwinter. As stated in the first video, this is Beta Weekend 1. As such, things will be broken, art will be missing, things will not be balanced, so on and so forth. And I gotta actually make sure here the stream's working. Are we good? We're good. Okay. So we just kind of learned out here about invocation, which is one potential way to get astral diamonds, which is one of the currencies in the game. And it's telling me, you've been idle for 10. No, be quiet. So I was thinking actually while I was between cycling the stream, and I think I want to show off the Foundry. Now I can't actually show off the Foundry itself as such, simply because they have not enabled the Foundry for beta. But essentially what the Foundry is a system that allows the end users to create their own adventures and campaigns, which is brilliant in several senses, because not only does it fit really well with the Dungeons and Dragons motif, but it also means that people will always have something new to do, because people are going to continue to produce these things. So I can't show you the actual creation tools. If you want to take a look or mess around with it, I suggest checking out Star Trek Online, which is also done by Cryptic. It's also completely free to play, and they have a Foundry of their own, which is what they kind of use as a test bed for the systems here in Neverwinter. So what I actually want to do is I'm going to go over to the catalog here, and obviously since the Foundry isn't turned on for the beta, I'm reasonably certain these were all created either in the internal betas or alphas or what have you. So as you can see that we've got a list of campaigns here. Campaigns can have multiple missions, you get a little bit of information, you have authors, you can see more stuff by the author, you can subscribe to the author so you get notified when they create new content. They kind of give you an average duration, the last time it was changed, so January 7th, 2013, so that definitely would have been internal alpha or beta. And, kind of a general summary. I assume it's completely up to the author to create these summaries. The map, I haven't seen anything particularly different between these for the map, so that could still be another. And then, you can review the campaign, give it some stars, so on and so forth. So let's actually check this out, and this will also kind of give us a good idea, hopefully, as to the flexibility of the system, because I did mention that I've been a little disappointed in the complexity of the missions that Cryptic has produced. They don't seem to have any, big brain teasers or whatever in their dungeons. But of course, a user may go and put something really crazy in. So hopefully they will give us the tools to make a ton of stuff. So let's check this one out, as it's currently the highest rated one on the Foundry, at least I think. Can we do a, let's see, placeholder buttons. Any 5 stars? No. Any 4 stars? Just one of the ones here. Alright, so we're going to try the Dwemer Keepers by Captain Zebular. Quest accepted. Does that actually give us oops. J for journal, not L. Discovery in Neverwinter. Nope, we want... Yeah, Discovery in Neverwinter Wood. Speak with the Cleric of Lyrian in Neverwinter. The Dwemer Keepers, Act 1. Millen, a cleric of Lurie in Neverwinter, is calling for adventurers to investigate the rumors of an old Mistralian building discovered a day's journey into Neverwinter Wood. Version 2.3a, mission type, lore, retrieve. 2 mouse plus protectors enclave, amount of combat low and steady, known issues, no collision from visible walls, follow the path. Alright, so we will stay on the path and not go exploring too much. But, you know, you can see it's integrated right into the quest log in the game. You have an objective that you can follow with the sparkly trail here. I assume that the character that gives the quest can be picked, and they've got a lot of people that you can pick from. Greetings, adventurer. My name is Millen, and I am a cleric of Lurn. How can I help you? I hear you have news of a discovery in the Neverwinter Wood. Millen nods and begins to show excitement as he responds. Why, yes I do. Some scouts recently returned from the wood and spoke of seeing an inn-like structure bearing the holy symbol of the goddess Mistra. I see. So what do you need? Or, Mistra, who is that? So, dialogue options. That's a good sign. Mistra, who is that? Millen seems taken aback at your question, then shrugs his shoulders and answers you. Mistra was the goddess of magic, the caretaker of the weave. She is assassinated by the vile gods Cyric and Shar in her home plane. When this happened, the world was ravaged by the spell plague, and well, the rest is history. If I remember my Forgotten Realms lore, and well, I haven't read a whole lot to be honest, the giant spell plague is essentially what separates 3.5 edition and 4th edition. Oh yes, I have heard that story before. He nods his head at you, then continues speaking. I thought you may have. You can then guess why I'm so eager to learn why Lolth has taken an interest in the abandoned structure devoted to Mistra. Lolth, what does she have to do with this? The cleric frowns as if worried slightly, then continues speaking. Well, you see, that is not all the scouts discovered. They also spotted a small band of drow bearing the holy symbol of Lolth messing around the building. They cannot be up to any good. Millen shakes his head, then says, I suspect not. If there are any surviving relics from the era of Mistress still within, we cannot let the minions of Lolth get their hands on them. I agree. What would you have me do? The cleric raises an eyebrow as he looks in anticipation at you, then asks, will you travel to the Neverwinter Wood, find this building, and dispatch any millions of Lolth you find? Please secure any relics or other religious artifacts you may find and bring them back to me. Is there any sort of reward? Or I will do you as you ask. Well, I'm a thief. Well, no, I'm not a thief. I'm a rogue. So I'm going to ask if there's a reward. Millen frowns in disappointment, then responds to your inquiry. The church's coffers are not that wealthy these days. However, I can provide you with a rough starting point that no other adventurers have. Any other treasure you find will, of course, be yours to keep. I hope that that will be reward enough. I will begin my journey at once, or I would like to talk about something else. Well, let's just go ahead and start. And a bow. I hope that's controllable. Millen gives you a respectful bow and then bids you farewell with a few words of caution followed by a blessing from his deity. Travel carefully in the Neverwinter Wood. Many dangers lay off the beaten path. May Lurn light your path. Bid the cleric farewell, or I change my mind, I don't want to do this now. So, bid the cleric farewell. Alright. So that's neat. You can do dialogue and some basic trees with options for the player to pick, as well as it appears getting the characters to emote along with what they're saying. So off we go. One thing I did notice is that this does not have any level listed on it, so I'm hoping that it will actually level scale the enemies and encounters and such to be appropriate for our level 7 rogue here. Neverwinter Wood. It doesn't have its own icon, so it makes me wonder if they can actually put those on the map themselves, which would be kind of neat. Follow the path west. I would would assume that most of the landscaping and stuff can be done by the... Oh! Another Shadow's Drow up here. It's an ambush. Defeat the ambush complete. The trees look a little wonky. Spitting spiders, continue following the path. After I stab everything. More draw up here, other shadows. Another ambush. It's hard for me to tell in the action, but it looks like the assassins are actually have their own dialogue lines as well. Chug a potion. Did that spider just talk? I suppose spiders make sense if we're dealing with Lolth. Defeat the second ambush complete. Hey, do they have the same icon? Yep, that's gonna be a little annoying. Temple's in sight, so is more drow. Distracted by my decoy. Picassoon's tier. Okay. Actual items. Huh. I wonder what kind of restrictions and stuff there is on placing that, because I would expect that Cryptic wouldn't want people to just litter loot throughout these things, just to power level their characters. This appears to be a statue of Mystra. It has somehow withstood the test of time. He also knows that the spell plague has damaged the pedestal which the statue rests upon and has left a searing scar. The remains of a humanoid declares the danger of getting too close. The statue appears to be unaffected by the spell plague, however. As you look upon the face of the statue, a chill runs down your neck. It seems the statue's eyes are looking down at you. You quickly take a second look upon the statue's face, and you are sure it was just your imagination. Let's offer a prayer, why not? You send a prayer to the dead goddess Mystra out of respect for venturing upon her once holy ground. Leave the statue alone. Interesting, but okay. And teleport stabby. Have all the things. Spiders are definitely talking. It wouldn't surprise me if the creator had researched whatever the appropriate drow language is. Okay. Enter the building. Defeat the drow looters and their spiders. Secure the relics. Okay. Damaged book, unable to... This book is heavily damaged and is useless. Accidentally moving the book aside, you see a Harper marking denoting the presence of nearby unsafe magic. Dungeon Master's note. The large crystal inside the small alcove is an abort exit. These are placed throughout our maps within the Drummer Keeper's campaign series. Use these only if you must leave the mission without completing it. If you do use these crystals to abandon a Dawnkeeper's campaign mission, you will need to drop the mission from your journal and retake it to do the mission again. Okay, so hello, assassin. Stab the assassin. Okay, that's one. It still doesn't want to let me interact with it. Such a dark in here. It almost sounds like I'm taking a bit of duct tape to it. Is there anything upstairs? Other than, ow, apparently a trap. Which I didn't see. I suppose it makes some sense that the temple is abandoned. It's dark like this. It's just a little bit more to try to navigate. Chug a potion. Breadcrumb trail seems a little confused too. Ow! Yes, disarming after I go through it. You gently unravel the Drow scroll on the dresser to find it scribbled with what appears to be writing in the Drow language, and I'm not even going to try to read that. After you read the note, you decide that you should take it to give to Cleric Millen. Take the Drow scroll. As you take the scroll, a shaft of sunlight from the windows shines down upon it, and the scroll immediately disintegrates into fine dust. Wipe your hands clean. Okay. Exit the building through the doors and return to Neverwinter. I assume we go back to the Protector's Enclave, because that's what the quest deliver was. Return the relics to the Cleric of Lurun in Neverwinter. So that was, reasonably entertaining. No chest loot, but again, I think that might be just, Cryptic trying to avoid people granting people a ton of loot for doing no work. To have some sort of 5-star rated, get all the loot mission. Because people would do that. Excuse me. Millen gets excited at you arrive and cheers at your apparent well-being, then greets you. You've returned. I began to get worried. Did you find anything of importance? There were indeed some drow there. They were collecting 3 items, a book, an orb, and a vase. Cleric is surprised by your finding and responds, I'm surprised anything survived looters, let alone having a whole building dedicated to Mistress surviving the spell plague and the cataclysm. Now that this building has been secured and these relics are safe, I'll find an expedition to study the inn in more detail. The drow guarding the relics said, repeat what the drow exclaimed. Because apparently I know about. You repeat a phrase you heard the drow say, and I'm not going to repeat that. Millen then raises his eyebrows for a moment, then rubs his chin and says, that roughly translates to, the power of the goddess Mystra is the property of the goddess Wolf. This is not good. Millen ponders for a moment, then responds. Why am I taking damage? According to this holy book, it was called Dwemer Keep Inn, and was used as a place of residence and training for new recruits. It also says that this was a rest stop for travelers on their way to a place called the Dwemer Keep Temple. Very interesting. It's going to take some time to study these relics. I'm sure we'll discover many things in time. Dwemer Keep Temple? Millen gives an uneasy nod, then answers. I'm sure this book will hold details on the location of the temple. This may be what the drow were looking for. If they already found it, they may be on their way. Give me some time to examine the book more closely and speak to me again later if you're interested in seeking out the temple. Thank you, Millen. Millen thanks you with a bow and a few words. Thanks you again. I spent a special package to Sergeant Knox for you. You should go check the chest by him. It's not much, but I hope it helps you in your journeys. Safe travels, friend. Oh, well that's kind of cool. Based on your skills, you can actually have different responses. So, thievery, I found this amulet by an ancient statue of Mystra. If I had religion, I could do research an ancient statue of the goddess Mystra. Arcana, I researched an ancient statue of the goddess Mystra. Dungeoneering, I found this amulet by an ancient statue. Okay, so. You hand Millen the pendant you found. Millen takes the symbol, looks it over, and points to a marking on its back, then says, You see this symbol? It's a four-pointed star set on top of a hollow disc. This is a representative of a far more ancient incarnation of Mystra. Thousands of years ago, she was known as Mistral, and was the goddess of not only magic, but also time itself. This is interesting indeed. I have heard that there used to be a small sect of followers of the goddess of magic that continue to worship her by the goddess's original name, faith, and virtues. All the more reason for us to continue studying the holy book and sends an archaeological team out there to learn more. Millen thanks you for your service with a respectful bow that says, Thank you once again. Don't forget to stop by the chest by Sergeant Knox for the small reward I was able to offer you for your service. So do they actually have rewards? I guess we're going to find out. There is a chest here. And it actually gave me a +1 leather armor for my rogue. And it gives us the option. So I will give it 4 stars because... so you can tip astral diamonds to the creator, 25, 50, or 100. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to do so because they're all going to get wiped anyway. I don't have a campaign rating yet. And I'm not actually going to give... I could report terms of use violations. What do you think of the mission? What do you think of the mission? So quest review, campaign review. I don't have a campaign review yet because we just started. It's kind of hard to say. I'd say, you know, interesting quest with a good chunk of lore. Some better in the building appreciated, as well as an editor to catch a few minor grammar and spelling errors. All things considered, really well done. Otherwise, quite a good quest. He's going to start reading everything. Well, okay, I'll give a campaign rating of 4. Campaign review seems interesting so far, but have only completed the first mission. And you're probably hearing the tack 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 of my keyboard over that. So we're on to the next mission. Overall, I'm impressed by, the way that they've kind of integrated this into the game. And the fact that, I've actually got a reward out of it. In fact, let's quickly identify that. Oh yeah, I will definitely equip that. That gives us a nice little look on our rogue there. Let's continue. Greetings again, Nimmer of Valorfist. I assume you're here to see if I discovered anything about the Dharmakeep temple we spoke of last. Well met. Yes, have you found anything? Moon smiles and nods happily, then answers you. Yes, I have. The Holy Book of Mystery recovered makes notes about the location of the Dharmakeep temple being not so far from the inn you found, only about a mile or so farther north. I shall head there immediately. Mishman stops you and interrupts enthusiastically. No, wait. I don't know the exact location. You could search for days in the wood and never find it. Plus, according to the Holy Book, you will need some sort of key to enter. If you try and enter without the key, it specifically states intruders will suffer a fate worse than death. So, listening to Vogon poetry? So where do I find this key? Cleric Milan looks around quickly, then whispers to you. I know a merchant that deals in rare magical devices and keys. She is an elf, and rumor has it she was around before the spell plague. You will want to seek her out. Her name is Samethia Lyrestock. Where can I find this Samethitra? Yeah. Fantasy names. Hard to pronounce. Millen whispers again to you. She just stopped by earlier before I discovered the notes about this key. She said she was heading south to Waterdeep, but wasn't leaving until dusk. She likes to camp outside the gates the night before her journeys to Waterdeep by a large pine tree not far south of the gates. If you hurry, you could probably catch up to her before she makes camp. Does the book describe the key? Millen lets out a brief sigh of disappointment, then continues whispering to you. Unfortunately, no, it does not. It does state, however, that it is held in the hand before the doors of the temple, which will disarm the magical wards. If the minions of Lolth have discovered this, they may also be looking for her. How would the drow know to look for her? Millen gets a little closer, speaking even more softly. She is well known for her dealings in ancient arcane magics that predate the spell plague. The drow have many contacts throughout Neverwinter. I am only to assume that they know what I know. It is safer that way. We'll leave it once then. Eric bows in gratitude, then bids you farewell with the short words or blessing. May Lune light your path. It'd be kind of ironic if I was actually a drow and talking to him. Like, hey, the drow have ears everywhere, as I state my entire plan to the drow person in front of me. Which now makes me wonder if you can actually conditionalize things in your quest based on players' characteristics. So maybe things like your origin and your not really starting city, but your origin city could actually be used by quest designers to give additional options, which would be kind of awesome. On the high road. That has an icon this time. A little simplistic, but I imagine that they don't have too terribly much to work with. Travel down the high road. Come across a campsite. Campfire looks like it has just started to be set up. You can see signs of a struggle around the campfire. As you look around, you hear rustling in the trees, and then spot at least one drow wrestling with an elven woman. Protectors immediately notice your gaze, and the drow rush to attack. Oh. The venerable elven woman smiles at you and greets you. Oh, thank you, Corellin. Those drow were about to kill me. That's a very haggard-looking face on a very smooth body. Yay, video games. Calm down, you're safe now. Helen sent me. Are you Samantha? I'm going to stumble over that name through this entire quest. She seems a little surprised at your words, then nods and speaks. Did he now? Yes, I am Lady Samantha of House Liarstock. I come seeking information about some key to a place called Dormant Keep. Sure. The elven later ponders her words for a moment, looks you up and down, and shrugs her shoulders as if answering you didn't matter. I've heard of the temple before, yes. I could help you locate the key you seek, but it won't be an easy task. What do I need to do? She looks around for a moment, gazing across the grasslands, then responds. You are not the only one looking for the lost temple to Mistro, or the key. Yes, tell me about the key I seek. Simon's tone of voice becomes a bit more serious as she speaks. The last I knew, the Neverwinter key, as it is called, was locked away within the vault of Ireland, deep within the enclave city of Zenlenal. Mind you, this was many thousands of years ago, before the fall of Netherrealm. I think everybody who comes up with names for fantasy games and or settings and or stories should be forced to make sure that they can actually pronounce them before creating them. Because, hey, I'm not the only one who's necessarily going to be reading these, and if you were actually going to be DMing a campaign like this, you'd have to pronounce them for your players. Where's the key now? She sighs again in disappointment at you, then answers. Still within Erlem's vault, of course. I doubt even Nithra has found it yet, for only a few even know of its existence. So how do I get this key? She smiles at you, then answers. As I said, you are not the only one seeking the Dwarmentor key. It would appear that a group of lost minions are also after the key. Fortunately for you, they already know what I just told you, and they know where the vault is. Are you mad? How is that fortunate? She laughs again, not taking offense to your tone, then responds. You would never survive a trip to Zenlen. No, at least not to Erlem's vaults. No, it is better that you let the drow find the key, then take it from their dead bodies as they approach the Dormant Temple. Oh, you're clever. Letter Samantha nods in agreement, then continues speaking. I would like to think so. After all, you don't get to be my age by being dull. So here is what you will need to do for me, and I will reveal to you the exact location of the temple where you can ambush the drow and take the key. Continue listening. I need you to retrieve my belongings. I had planned on getting them back myself on my way to Waterdeep, but now that you come along and need my favor, perhaps you could retrieve them for me. Giving you no time to answer her question, Zareth points further south, off the road towards the Sword Coast, then speaks some more. Good, I knew you would. A horrible-smelling ogre and his henchmen attacked me a few months ago and took my backpack. I was able to get away with my life. I have a few things in there I would rather not lose, as they are only the mementos I have left from Evermeet. How would you even be left after months? Enter the ogre's camp and retrieve my belongings. Slay the foul creatures within, for we cannot allow them to remain so close to the high road. My bag is marked with the holy symbol of Corellin, inset with a golden flower. We'll do as you ask. He smiles at you once more, then responds, Good. Meet me back here once you have my belongings, and I will tell you where to find the temple. And of course, the location is nearby. Rather simplistic modeling. Again, I wish I knew a little bit more about how much the Foundry actually let you do, as this does seem a little overly simplistic. So, it could either be just a lack of time on the user's part in order to try to test the system, or, limitations in the system itself. I'm rolling that giant boulder away. Kind of stuck on the ground a little bit there. Oh, yeah. And that's the whole, you need to get out. Ow! Need to watch for more traps. dailies back pretty fast as a rogue. Again, with the traps that I either can't see or... I wonder if that's an issue with the trap, if you can set like its detection radius or something, or what. Yeah, more lighting again would be useful in this case. Stabbing everything again. Ow! And that's what happens when you don't move in time. With my decoy, which is good. It was a decent fight, other than the fact that you can't really see anything. And make your way to the exit. What did we get anyway? Level 9, requires level 9, so it's a ring. And a level 9 amulet for a fighter. Dang it. Shadowy figure blocks your path. Shadowy figure's voice echoes throughout the cavern. Abandon your task or suffer eternal darkness. Shadowy figure splits into 3 and attacks. Okay. Dodge! Seems like I'm more in... not that great at deterring me. After defeating 3 shadowy figures, they coalesce back into one. As it speaks, the voice becomes gradually softer and softer until both its voice becomes silent and the creature disappears into the darkness. You've won this battle in your valor fist. Next time, you won't be so lucky. You are left with a feeling of uncertainty as chills run down your spine. Shadowy figure fades from view. Ah, dang it, again. That's going into the review. Lady Samuth, the trap greets you warmly. You've returned it with my backpack. I cannot thank you enough. This means a lot to me. It wasn't easy, but I got the job done. She smiles at you, then responds, I suppose you want to know the location of the temple now. Very well. Samuth digs around in the backpack you just returned to her and pulls out a scroll, then opens it and says, Ah yes, here it is. This map shows the location of Domer Keep Temple. To return to our friend Millen. I'm sure you would like to know about the location. Talma and Millen too. I said he is to give you that item he has been holding for me. Consider it a bonus for returning my backpack to me. Thank you, Samuth. How will I know when the drow will arrive at the temple, though? Strethian nods and answers you. Oh, that. Millen has his sources. Inquire about that with him. He should be able to find out for you rather easily, or at least point you to someone who knows. Thank you again. Travel safe, my friend. By the grace of Corellin, we may meet again. As you bid Samatha farewell, you see her gasp as she looks behind you and shouts, "Watch out!" in her valor fist. The elven lady then quickly grabs her backpack, mumbles a quick incantation, and vanishes from sight, leaving you to defend yourself from whatever it is behind you. Oh gee, thanks. Decoy! Use the decoy! I'm not interested. Samantha cheers at your victory, then says, "That was some battle. Well done. Why didn't you help me?" The elf laughs and taps at the side of her head and says, "There's too much valuable information in here to chance it falling into the hands of lost minions. Besides, I knew you could handle it." "Well, you better be off. I'm sure Millen will eagerly awaiting your return." "Very well. Farewell, Samantha." Say Mathatra. That's probably more correct. And back to the Enclave. Which, of course, kind of places us at the opposite end from where we want to be. Because, hey, we like doing that. We like running. Let me be level 9. I'm only level 7. Running. Cleric Millen greets you friendly. Welcome back. Were you able to find Samatatra? Yes, I saved her from some drow and retrieved her belongings from a smelly ogre. Millen looks at you with a surprised delight, then responds, "That is good to hear. Were you able to find out where this key is?" "Yes, it's called the Neverwinter key and should be in the hands of some drow very soon." Millen looks shocked yet again and responds, "In the hands of drow? This cannot be good. You better tell me the whole story." Inform Millen about the plan and show him the map to the temple. After listening to what Samatatra instructed, he nods at you and says, "Very well. Come back to me again later. I should be able to find out what the drow will arrive at the temple." Lady Samatatra said she wanted me to have that item, which you were holding for. He smiles at you and nods again and replies, "Ah, she must have taken a liking to you. Very well. You will find it in the chest near Sergeant Knox." "Thank you, Millen. I'll return after a while." Bids you a friendly farewell and says, "Until we speak again, safe travels, Numera Valorfist, and may Lure light your path." I know I'm mumbling horribly over some of the names. And we get yet another review. I'm going to actually give this 3. So, quest review. Interesting enough, but the environment could use a bit of sprucing up, and the traps cave need to not be impossible to disarm for a rogue. Continue. Let's take a look at this chest piece then. Oh, it requires level 9, so I guess I will equip it in another level or so. What did we get for leveling up? New daily, Lurker's Assault. Lurk for the Shadowfell, corrupting your weapons with 95 damage as long as you can maintain your action points. Let's give it a shot. You'll note that we have more powers than we could actually slot at any one time, which is part of how they, designed their system. New Atmo Power Life Furthers, which that's just a rank up of what we've got already. Back to the Capitan, or the Cleric, not the Captain, jeez. The Cleric greets you warmly and says, "Ah, the man at Etherfest. I found someone who knows a group of drow that went to Zenlanal to retrieve the magical item. Unfortunately, she wouldn't divulge the information to me. You might have better luck. Go speak with her. She is a young drow street urchin and can usually be found just outside the Moonstone Mask. Go to her, speak to her at once." Cleric Millen bids you farewell and offers words of blessing. Safe travels, and remember Etherfest may right your path. I got marbles in my mouth. Enunciation. Gotta have enunciation. Because otherwise people can't understand you. And I think we'll finish this off. I believe it is the last mission in this campaign. So the video will end up going a little bit over the hour, but that should be alright. Okay. Giant floating island. A little bit low poly there, but nice view otherwise. The young drow girl looks up at you, rolls her eyes, and arrogantly says, "What are you looking at?" "I come seeking information." The young drow continues to look around nervously, then nods and answers you. "I might know something about that. Information is not cheap, and I need to eat. I can pay you." The young drow looks aside for a moment, then accepts your offer. "You have a deal. Payment first. I'll take 10 gold. How about a handful of silver?" The girl looks a little disappointed, then nods and puts a hand and says, "Okay, that will do." It doesn't actually take any cash from me, which is good because I certainly don't have that much gold on me. The young drow continues to look disappointed. She looks at each piece, then puts them into her belt pouch in response. You much have very small hands. Okay, fine. What is it you want to know? I'd like to know about a drow excursion in Zenlanal. I'd like to know where they are. The young girl nods at you, then answers. From what I've heard, they have already left Zenlanal from some sort of magical treasure with them. They should arrive at the temple tomorrow night. If you leave now, you should be able to get there before they do. I also know that these drow often take travelers they come across to sell on the slave market. You might be able to use this to gain an advantage. Thank you. She shrugs off your thanks and responds, "Now keep this between us. I get in a lot of trouble if anyone knew I was giving you this information. This will remain our secret. Thank you again." The girl waves you off and says, "Good luck. You're going to need it." She then laughs either at you or herself. You're really not sure. Alright. Let's not walk off the edge. I see they have the Star Wars engineer's code of safety, which means you don't put handrails anywhere on giant drops. path has a bit of a pathing glitch there. And we have to travel to the Neverwinter Wood, right? Reach the ambush location. Way to spell it out. Dodge. Little spiders. Kill the little spiders. Well, that's pretty dang neat looking. I assume it's doing extra damage as long as I keep getting action points. So that was kind of cool. I think I still like Bloodbath more, so I'm going to swap that out. Just because Bloodbath is automated. Oh, I see. It's not their ambushing you, it's the location you're going to ambush them at. These guys are reasonably tough, too. Got slowed. Good. Dodge. And potion. Laying down. Tend to be injured, clear the drows show themselves. Stab them all! Yeah, that's definitely a little more fun. Dodge. You'd think they figure out that the one that's stabbing them is the villain. Slowly open the bag dropped by the drow, and for a split second are blinded by a blue-white light emanating from the bag. After a brief moment, your eyes readjust and you see a small glowing orb engraved with intricate magical runes. Inside the orb appears to be mists of swirling silver. As you touch the orb with your hands, you feel your skin tingle and a pulse of blue-white light bursts out and dissipates. Your body is, for a moment, filled with energy, and you see what appears to be a small feminine eye within the orb. It quickly winks at you, then fades into the mists of the orb. You then hear a rustling of the trees and watch as 7 flowers of saloon rapidly grow from the ground in a circle. Then above and within the circle, a magical portal forms next to you. You are filled with certainty that the portal will take you directly to the Dwemer Keep Temple, cutting a day off your journey. You are unsure why you feel so certain of its destination, but it is an unshakable feeling, one that you are pulled to accept. You also feel as though you must present the Dwemer key in front of the magical portal before venturing through it. Take the key. Just have to wave the key in front of the portal. Have to jump through the portal. Approach the temple's door. that's Harper Mark pedestal. Yeah. That's the whole if you want to leave bit that this guy's decided to do. As you reach for the key, you realize it's missing. Then you hear footsteps behind you. Oh, hi. Drow High Priestess. You have something on your chest. Drow woman glares at you, then hisses. So you're the one causing all this trouble. What's wrong? Are you missing something? The Drow woman cackles as she pats a bag tied to side and says, I have your key, and now I shall offer your life as a sacrifice to Lolth and claim all this temple holds. I'll kill you and take back the key, thank you. Drow priestess hisses once more before engaging in battle. Prepare to die, whale. Dodge. Stab them all. Identified item. And take the key back. Wave the key before the temple's door. As you reach for the door arcade glows faintly, then in a flash of blue-white light, the orb vanishes from your hand. Where it's gone, you have no idea. You hear a click, and the door as it unlocks before you. Well, you're interesting. A Sun Elven priestess. The Sun Elven woman slowly sets foot on the ground. You are now certain that this is the Elven woman you met before, Simathatra Lyrestock. She looks remarkably younger, however. Her hair is more vibrant and longer, and she's bearing no spell scar. Around her neck is worn a white band adorned with an 8-pointed blue-white star of the ancient Mistral. You are unsure if she's looking at you, as her eyes seem to radiate pure white light. Simathatra, is that you? What are you doing up there? Why do you look so... Whoever or whatever this woman is, when she speaks, her ominous voice is heard 3 times. Once as she talks, then twice more as her words echo through the small hallway. Simathatra, yes. Simathatra, no. I was once known as her. I will be known as her in time. Now I am known as the High Dwemer Keeper of the Keep. You have come, like those trapped here, now, seeking the lost mysteries of the Dwemer Keep. Now you too are lost. Separated by the spell plague, all within the keep were set adrift in the sea of the gods. Here they were trapped, torn from time and soul. All that remains is their evil. To set you free and rejoin the keep to Troil, I must lower the wards. So lower the wards, please? She waves her hand and speaks once more. I cannot set you free until the evil within is no more. Slay for me the dark mistresses, and their twisted bonds will be broken. With this threat no more, I shall remove the barriers that keep us from Troil. Beyond you will find the Dark Maiden and her minions. Then find the High Priestess lurking near the catacombs below. Look now just beyond where a scholar's eye is keen. Once through, so the two shall the way be sealed. She then floats back into the air and vanishes from sight. Examining the bookcase, you find a cleverly disguised book lever. This may be the way to a passageway further inside. Pull the book. Alright, the tough spider webs with my duct tape. Enter. These guys aren't putting too much of a fight. Ow. Ah. I walked over that. How did it not set off and then only set off with them? potion. Another trap there. Yeah, seriously? You have to be that close? Wonder if the difficulty is just set high or what? Come on. See, I'm standing on them and I'm not seeing them. Seriously. Does damage. Oh, come on. You need to die, because you're just summoning. She is. Ah. Fundamental fire, I believe, is one of the crafting ingredients. Fortunately, crafting ingredients go into their own bag. Unfortunately, there is no crafting system in the game as of now, or at least not in the beta. It's all suspicious looking. After examining it for a few minutes, you find a small lever. Pulling it might open a way out of this room. Okay, travel further into the catacombs. Spiderwebs just spawn spiders. Kill the trap first. Reach the beginning of the catacombs, you see Cymathera floating before you. Cymathera smiles at you, then speaks, her words once again echoing twice more throughout the crypt. You have done well, Emir Balorfist. The Dark Maiden is dead. Her curse is lifted. And before you stands the Priestess of Lolth. She will wait for what she came for. The Spell Tome of Mysteries is not for her. She could not take it, for it is bound to the embrace of the living. Remove the Spell Tome from its resting place and bring it to me. She will then surely try to stop you. Destroy her and her curse will be lifted. With her curse no more, I shall lower the wards. Then you shall be free to return to Neverwinter. She begins to fade from view. She turns and points down the stairs in front of you. Beyond are towards two massive doors, barely attached to an already crumbling wall. Down below you see 3 dead bodies of fallen Mysterlians among 3 more decaying drow bodies. Doesn't seem to be any particular way to go there. Yet again, lighting needs a little bit of work, and there's the invisible traps. You know, the shadow thing really charges up my action points. The drow priestess, her flesh covered in decay and old wounds, gazes with her glowing red eyes at the book, then to you and moans, "The tome! Give me the tome, and you will live." She reaches her hand out to grab the spell tome from you. Pull the tome away. She pulls her hand away, and then they surge with dark energy as the bodies of the fallen drow and dead Mysterlian guards around you begin to move and groan, rising to their feet. She then cackles and hisses, "You have chosen to die, Lolth be praised." Dodge. I suppose one nice thing about that ability is it lights up the room. Ow. Dodge. The whole dodging thing. There we go. Zemethitra floats to the ground before you yet again. You offer her the spell tome, and by a wave of her hand it lifts from your grasp into the air. The book then flies back down to the antechamber below, taking rest back upon its pedestal. Another smile shines across her face as she speaks, her words echoing twice more throughout the crypt. "You have served well. I have dropped the barrier to rejoin Troil. The temple reconnects with its foundation. The cleansing has already begun. For your aid in this cleansing, I shall open a portal back to the fair city of Neverwinter. Walk beyond, and my magic shall take hold." Alright. Back to the Enclave, I assume. So I'm a little disappointed in not seeing any cutscenes. That may very well just be a limitation of the Foundry, so I'm certainly not going to hold that against the author. Again, I also imagine that they haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it, just because, you know, beta and all that. So, you know, for what it is, it had a, you know, semi-interesting story. The encounters seemed reasonably fair, and the ones that should have been challenging were challenging. So we'll check the potion here. I just wish the lighting and there wasn't the issue with the traps, which, you know, I guess really my only complaints. But that area was certainly much more interesting than some of the others. Cleric Millen seems confused to see you, yet he greets you with a formal bow and says, "Is there anything wrong? I had not expected you back for at least another day." "I've been gone for 3 days. I just returned from the temple." Millen looks at you, still slightly confused looking, and says, "That is odd. You just left yesterday. So you found the key in the temple then?" "Yes, I even explored a bit and found some strange things." Inform Millen of the details. After spending a half hour following Millen of your adventures, he tells you, "Ah, this makes sense now. I believe the spell plague must have dislodged the interior of the temple, which housed powerful warding magics over time. Sounds like it was set adrift with the gods in the astral sea, a place where time could pass much differently than here. I do recall hearing Zemethitra speaking that she had once been a guardian of a mighty temple. In her story, she told of a great adventurer that came and set her free, but she had been trapped in time for many years. This adventurer must have been you. So Zemethitra knew me the whole time?" Millen nods and continues, "It would seem so. Now that you have lifted the curse upon the temple, it must have rejoined the world of the past, which is why she had you leave through magical means instead of the front door. That would have been a surprise for you, for sure. Now that we know the temple does exist, maybe I can get you to go back there one of these days and see what new knowledge and mysteries there are to uncover." "Sure, Millen. I need some time to rest, though. I have been through a lot." Cleric laughs and then says happily, "Oh yes, of course. Do return to me when you're ready. I may have another task for you than involving the temple. As a reward for discovering the location and the fate of the temple's past, I've secured a small reward for you. You can find under guard near Sergeant Knox. Travel safe." Dungeon Master's note. This is the end so far of the Dormammutor's campaign. There are plans for at least 3 more missions in the campaign, however. Thank you for playing. I hope you enjoyed them so far. So we should go get our reward. Considering the extensiveness of the text and the lore and all that I would imagine he's been working on it for a while. Oh, some daggers. Quest review. There you give that 4. Quite interesting story and area, as well as a nice conclusion. However, there are still issues with underlit areas and mostly invisible traps, even for a rogue. Rating, I'll leave it as 4 stars. Interesting and reasonably well written story. The environments and lighting could use some work, as well as
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
as well as hopefully fixing these traps that are
Smart fighter quits while he's
visible
ahead.
until you stand on them, even as a rogue. Otherwise, well worth my time. I think so. So, let's go check out these daggers real quick. And looks like we can equip them. So we will do so. Cleric, Wizard, Rogue for 9, Rogue 9. 9, yeah, they all want me to do 9, and I'm not 9 yet. Anyway, so there was a quick overview of the currently highest rated mission on the Foundry on this first weekend of the Neverwinter beta. I will probably be doing more of these videos, not necessarily this weekend, but in future betas. If I find something particularly interesting on my higher level cleric, I may also cover that. But I hope this has been an informative overview, kind of giving you an idea of what's in the game, what it involves, and, you know, maybe you get an idea of whether you're interested in the game or not. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.